this start? Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday. 33rd.
Thursday.
Day 5.
Day 5. Oh, we are live. There you go. Well, g'day, everyone. How you going? Day 5 of the AMNA Championship up on the Gold Coast, and it's day 2 of our live streaming. Thanks for joining us. Sue Gordian in commentary, and alongside me, former Sonics Australian men's coach in Dave Mills. I'll come to you second, Dave. First and foremost, what a big game we've got ahead of us again. Yesterday, a couple of upsets have created a little bit of interest in today's play. Of course, Open men's going down to New South Wales, then to Victoria last night. So today's game, we line up, it's the Open men's VIC coming up against Western Australia. I'll go straight to you. This is a really important game, in essence, for both sides.
Well, actually, because Queensland have already won this morning. They beat South Australia, so they've gone back to the top of the table on 12 points. But if Victoria win this game, they'll be equal points, and it shapes up for an absolute classic tonight against New South Wales with the Vics.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought Victoria yesterday, after a bad start in the first quarter, were just outclassed and outskilled Queensland, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. A ridiculously sluggish start. We were talking about being just a training run for Queensland, and then all of a sudden they just turned it around and ended up winning by 6.
So Western Australia, their goal shooter, Jerome Gillard, one of the stars. He's going to have to stand up today, one of the young boys coming through.
Absolutely. Been in the Australian 23s program for a while now. He's coming to the Open division, and he is the leader in this side.
Yeah, absolutely. So a very, very big game ahead of us. Looking forward to this one, of course, as we head towards the finals on Saturday. And hopefully you can join us for the live streaming there. We're only a couple of minutes away before the first centre pass. Wait there, we'll be back in just a minute.
Check.
What a big game we've got ahead of us. Sue Gordian commentating alongside Dave Millsy Mills. And it's Victoria to get us underway in the centre pass. They are in the Navy heading to your right of screen, and it's West Australia, their opponents. 4 quarters of action coming your way, and straight away a turnover going the way of Western Australia. Mitch Purser ends up with the ball. So Clift, miscommunication there between him and McPherson. Dylan McPherson in the centre for Western Australia. And the Vics now with a chance to get back on the board.
Ooh. Near collision there.
Ball speed already up. Good delivery as Corey Jackson lines up today, gets the starting nod at goal shooter.
Bit of a surprise that Tim Walker's not there, considering the way he played last night. Shot at 92% for the match. I would have thought that Coach Christine would have still gone with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously giving a young fella a chance, giving Tim a bit of a rest.
Well, you never know what will happen come finals, and
exactly.
Christine Popolo making sure she's got plenty of options, the coach of Victoria. So the Vics again, good ball speed. And there's Simons. He was terrific yesterday, combining with Guy Keane in the middle. Keane on the bench to start with today. And another opportunity for WA.
That was a great little intercept there by Tori Allen. Yeah, so He's come down from New South Wales, been in the New South Wales Open side for a little while, got a transfer through work, and now he's playing for the VICs.
Tori Allen, the wing defence for Victoria. Clift finds Dent, and Stewie Dent lines up for his first shot.
Got the foul.
Apparently carrying a bit of a hamstring injury, young Stuart Dent, but
I had heard that, but
yeah.
you wouldn't
Soldier
know.
on.
He's
no.
moving on quite well there.
That's him on screen there in goal attack for WA. So Victoria 1, WA 1. And Brodie Roberts. Well, he was terrific out the front yesterday, wasn't he? His role in front of Walker was just impressive.
Had amazing sleight of hand. Like some of his passes, I'm glad Tim knew they were coming because I didn't. He was looking one way, cracking it in there and hitting him in the chest pretty much every time. So, in a way, whilst we gave the man of the match to Guy Keane, his role in that GA spot had a lot to do with their success.
So, Jerome Gillard, superstar under 23 player, one of the big names here at the tournament. Does the job for WA. Simons. Back to Melmo. Melmo swinging between wing defence and goal defence yesterday. Miscommunication from James Robertson. So WA with another chance. And I imagine WA would want to make sure they start this game well. They can't afford to let Victoria get out and blow out things too early.
Exactly. Like, this is an important match for WA just as much as Victoria. If they were to win this, then tonight's game's a bit mute against South Australia. If they were to lose it and lose by a fair margin, and then South Australia beat them tonight, it becomes a percentage battle. So, you know what I mean? And that's probably what they're trying to avoid. So, if they can at least, even if they lost today, if it was a closer margin, that'll help them in the long term for this tournament.
So, plenty on the line here for both these sides. It's Gillard. A little bit soft on the take. Dent holding.
Nice elbow there by Dent.
Got away with it.
Absolutely.
Well, he's fresh-aired that one completely. Sheer frustration.
See, the ball knows.
Yeah.
So the ball always knows, Sue.
So the Vic's in to attack Robertson. Goes back to Punchin.
Oh, nice effort that.
Well, what a start. Mitch Purser, should I say. What a start for him. He's had hand to ball 3 times. It's a selfless position wing defence in this game of netball.
Yeah, it certainly is. When you play with 6, who do you drop? Wing defence.
So the Vic's out by 1. Blow for blow early. Dent lines up Gillard. Quick hands with Clift.
That was sloppy in there, goal circle there.
Yeah, interesting. I spoke with their coach, Lorraine Ward, the WA side, yesterday, and she said the frustration. Oh, nice look away from Dent. Well, completely fooled the Vic boys there. Lorraine Ward just saying that, the turnovers have just been letting down the boys from the West, and really today they were here to come out and try and eliminate some of that easy throwaway ball, those 1%ers.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been a bad start, 3-all after 5, so they're certainly in the game early.
So strong take at front by Corey Jackson, and the obstruction call. So, yeah, another coach killer. Oh. Never want to give a shooter 2 turns.
Or 3 turns, as this turned out to be. Yeah. A lot of the teams I've noticed particularly in the open men's division, they're not turning and blocking on the shot. I don't know why that is. Maybe just because they're thinking because the shooters are so huge, it's going to go in anyway. So they're just dropping that 1%er in the turn and block. And there's not a lot of rebounds. And when you get the chance, you really need to be there for them.
No, absolutely.
Good hands there by Tori Allen.
I think it's called the last line of defence. When all else fails, the only thing you've got left is to rebound the ball, isn't it?
Exactly.
So Dent offloads with his mid-court in Dylan McPherson. And inaccuracy at the post costing WA at the moment.
Probably shooting a little bit far out. You've got a big unit in Jerome under the post. Probably just take the extra pass, kick it out, use the triangle, get it back into Jerome.
Oh, lucky to keep that ball in, Tim Melmo. 1 step inside the goal third. Clever stuff, had good awareness.
Overshot that one.
Yeah, Jackson just not 100% on target at the post at the moment. It's giving WA the chance. So the Vics throw on the mid-court press here. And you see they can defend the space, just trying to block up WA. And eventually Dylan McPherson finds his way through. Quick hands from Dent.
Much better.
And
that's the play for WA, isn't it?
Absolutely, that'll please the boys and their coach. just joining us on the live streaming, it is the AMNA Championships, the Australian Men's and Mixed Netball Championships. We're on the Gold Coast, beautiful venue here at the Sports Complex in Carrara. We'll be host to one of the sports at the 2018 Commonwealth Games. And Brodie Roberts.
He's looking very composed again, just like he did last night.
Absolutely, and it's interesting because in terms of physique, you know, he looks like he'd be broken in two. But he just goes, he is slick, isn't he? He finds good space.
He is a little tacker, but, you know, every year I see him, he's grown another 3 inches, so he's going to be a bit of a beanpole.
Well, that's great execution into Gillard. And WA stay well within touch here. 5 apiece halfway through this first quarter. Day 5 action.
Nice feed there. Jackson's getting in good position. He's just shots letting him down a little bit early.
Well, he'd probably be a little bit nervous. He hasn't had the start, so he's been given the nod today by Coach Popolo. So
I imagine it'd be difficult when you know you're the number 2 shooter. Like, you know you're going to be sitting behind Tim Walker. It must be hard. And when you do come on, you want to make every post a winner.
A great intercept there by Melmo, but they've given it away. Victoria, Dent on 1 foot, finds McPherson. Well, Gillard won't want to shoot from out there, but he takes the risk and he delivers.
Probably works harder on his shot than any other of the shooters is Jerome Gilbert. Like, he's a big social media guy, and it's quite often you see him training. He probably puts in more of the work than most of the guys.
Speaking of social media, if you want to get
segue.
involved in the action, Twitter, at AMNA Men's Mixed. On Instagram, Australian Men's Netball. Get involved, send us some information, even a shout out. We'll pop your name.
We've been getting stuff from all over the world.
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it?
Barbados was in this morning. England's been constantly contacting us. And, of course, our friends in New Zealand.
Well, it's the start of something big. You get the feeling for this association.
Well, we hope so.
So, McPherson.
I guess that's those turnovers that Coach was talking about.
Yeah, the 1%ers. I mean, he had control of the ball. He was probably thinking of his next move before he actually executed the catch.
Looked like he turned before he caught it, yeah.
Correct.
So.
Well, they can't make it pay at the post, Victoria. And again, WA driving through court. Dent pulls in. Oh, well, he's ripped that through unnecessarily. And again, just casting my eyes over to the bench. And their coach, Lorraine Ward, just furious at that pass.
She's not a happy camper at the moment.
No.
But still, 6-all after nearly 10 minutes.
Oh, it's a good opening term. 60 minutes, 4 15-minute quarters, so plenty of netball still to be played. WA will need to just maintain composure and minimise their errors to stay in touch, I think, with this Victorian Open men's team. Melmo, Simons. Well, they're just playing the ball around here. Patience eventually finds Simons down in the pocket. And
nice
Roberts,
save there.
yeah. Well, he'll get another go possibly here. Trying to thread the needle was Simons into Roberts on the baseline.
Like he's thin.
Yeah. So Brodie Roberts to keep the scoreline in favour of Victoria, and he does exactly that, just. You're laughing, Millsy.
Sorry.
Talk me through it.
Oh, no, that's all good.
Preempting the shot.
Yeah, a little bit.
I always do that.
That was 99 parts out then in.
Stewie Dent again, yeah, great offload, quick hands. Well, that one paid off for him, the one before didn't, so he'll want to make sure that that connection works in his favour. The quick pass, the lookaways. Oh, yeah,
Great
good
intercept.
work. Yeah, absolutely. Simon Bailey came from nowhere on that one. There he is driving down court again. Well, home alone. Gillard under the post. And that's a great transition and return for WA.
That's probably their best passage of play so far in this quarter. So the ball was smooth as silk as it went through there.
So they've hit the front, Western Australia, for the first time. The centre pass in their favour. And a chance maybe to take some bragging rights into this first quarter. So Stuart Dent, steady and take the shot.
It's a lovely technique there on Stewart.
So out by 2 now, WA. Roberts. Oh, and again, McPherson just miscommunication with Jerome Gillard. Oh, sorry, not Jerome Gillard. My apologies. Corey Jackson. They'll come up with it, though.
Yeah, a little fingernail on there. The inaccuracy of the Victorian shooters is certainly keeping the WA side in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess the key to that, it's a game of sport. You need to capitalise at the other end in order for that to hurt, doesn't it?
Exactly right. You're sort of almost waiting after what we saw last night, just waiting for Victoria to turn the switch and then kick into gear.
Well, they turned the switch on that occasion, and it was Tori Allen doing the work at wing defence. Simons at the top, quick ball work. They swing to the pocket and open up. Roberts, well, he was looking everywhere but a shooter, but eventually found Corey Jackson. And that was a nice passage from the Vic men's. The umpire's doing a terrific job here at the tournament, and we commented on that yesterday. They've been pretty much unnoticed, and that is full credit.
I've heard nothing but praise from most of the coaches. I sort of communicate with a lot of them, and there's been very few complaints. And it's a much bigger pool this year, so obviously our standards are getting better.
So Jerome Gillard continues his work as the go-to boy for Western Australia. He looks like he means business today. Simons, long ball in. Well, great vision, great execution, and good finish.
This is a really important last couple of minutes. If the WA side can maintain their composure and don't let the Vics get a run on, then, the second half will go with a lot of confidence in the second quarter.
That's where they say good sides are made, being able to hang on through those final few minutes. And again,
another
Dent
forced ball.
trying to be a little bit too fancy. I reckon it's paid off twice, and it hasn't worked three times.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, and Jerome presents himself more often than not, so he doesn't need to do that all the time. You know what I mean? He's a very good shooter.
So what's he going to try and do here? Yeah,
Off
use the
post.
post. Clever stuff.
Showtime.
Well, Stewie Dent putting on a show here. Love your work, Stuart Dent.
It's for the
Incredible
TV
stuff.
audience. Loves an audience.
Must explain that you can use the post to regain possession.
I absolutely hate that,
Yeah,
but
well,
you can do it.
And it's risky, but cleverly done. And you actually really need to practice doing it. I've tried it and the ball went off to the other
exactly.
court. Mate,
I hit someone in the third row. So the Kiwis do it really well, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so.
They come up with all the tricks, the Kiwis.
Yeah.
So just under a minute of play left. WA leading here with the advantage. If Dent drops this, they go 2 in front. No, and that was just a clean air ball.
Wasn't a pass?
No, we'll put that down as a stat. And in the blink of an eye, the Vics are down court. Simons, top of the circle. Nice hold from Corey Jackson and a good finish, so they level the score. And as you just said 2 seconds ago, Millsy, composure was the key for WA to go out in front.
Yeah, they should have been probably 2 or 3 goals up for the quarter, and now they're going to come back, probably 1 or 2 down.
Oh, well,
great save.
just as we speak.
Yeah, commentator's curse there.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mitch Purser on the offload from Simon Bailey. And Dent, well, again, there you go. And you can just see the hands of Ash Clift go up, frustrating when he was there in the pocket alone.
Yeah, he was dead set looking at us.
Well, can they put themselves in front? Not to be Dent, another opportunity, and the accuracy.
Nice pass there by the
that
Queensland
one
mix coach.
came off.
Yeah, it did.
Well, with only 2 seconds off the clock, eventually WA will go into the break leading by the 1 goal. An interesting opening quarter. I'd say WA have come out to play. Will there be any changes coming from Victoria?
Oh, I don't think so. I really don't think so. Like, they're gearing up for a bigger match tonight, and then think about Friday and Saturday. They've definitely qualified for finals. It's just a matter of where they finish. And Christine, she has a roster, and she'll stick to that and give these guys opportunity to play out the game.
Well, there you go. The expert comments coming to you from Dave Mills. Hang around. We'll come back with all the action of this Vic Open versus WA right after the break. Welcome back to all the action here at the AMNA Championships on the Gold Coast, the beautiful Gold Coast, Queensland. And it's a men's open game between Victoria and Western Australia. And tight pegging in that first quarter, 11-12, WA being able to go into that break 1 goal up.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a surprise, you'd think, but they've really come to play today. They've obviously they know what's in, like this secures a semi-final spot for them if they win this game. So they're going in hard. Victoria are resting a few of their stars, so they've got an opportunity here to get the jump on the VICs.
Yeah, absolutely. And we said Corey Jackson from Victorian goal shooter getting the nod to start. A little bit unsteady, but he eventually found the post and looked like he sort of settled in come the back end of that quarter.
Exactly. When you're dealing with Brodie Roberts, with his sleight of hand, it could take you a little bit of time to adjust the style of play that he brings to the game. But I think they'll get it all sorted by half-time, and the VICs might pull away in this quarter.
Well, Stewie Dent racking up the personal turnovers to his name. And, that can really hurt this team from the West. The VICs now need to capitalise. Well, it's not to be, and that's a good take from Dylan McPherson. Ash Clift on wing attack. Big shout out to Game Clothing, bringing you this great live streaming coverage from the Gold Coast all around the world. So much so.
Yeah, we're getting messages from all over the place. Manny Ferreira, he's the South African men's coach. He's given us a tweet saying great coverage. Loves you and I together.
Oh, good job, Manny. I'm glad you got the check in the mail, my friend.
So, Manny's he runs a school over there for men's netballers, and he's got me over there a couple of times to coach. So it's a pleasure to have him on board.
Fantastic. Good to see the men's netball happening all over the globe as Simons falling out of court. And they come away with it, the VICs. Jackson certainly presenting well, just needs to finish at the post. Good rebound.
Yeah, followed his shot in well there.
And so in the first couple of minutes, the VICs now turning the ascendancy their way. Oh, that's a good 3-ball play. Well, gee, we would have loved to see Gillard just turn and deliver
shoot,
that.
He's a great shooter. But then we would have missed that great shot.
Well, and we are only commentators now.
What will we know?
Yes, exactly. We should remind our viewers that these two sides have actually met earlier in the week. And Victoria certainly dominated, 73-39. So full credit going the way of the West at the moment. Level pegging.
That was that first game. The VICs were a little bit rusty early on, but then they probably after about 5 minutes they clicked. So last night it took them a quarter and a half, but they clicked really early, and they really showed their class in that game.
And McPherson doing a lot of work out the front. So you see those beautiful passages of play between Gillard and Dent, and then every once in a while we just see that unnecessary turnover being made.
Yeah. If they hadn't thrown so much ball away, I reckon they'd be half a dozen up.
Yeah,
you know what
absolutely.
I mean? But they've kept VICs in the game, which is surprising,
Well, you share the frustration of their coach, Lorraine Ward, who spoke earlier about the number of turnovers that the West boys have been delivering so far throughout the tournament, and if they want to make the finals, they need to eliminate a lot of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Clift working again with McPherson. Well, he's on about every second ball, but the execution not good.
No, that was terrible. It was that was an unnecessary pass. He was in the double team, and the rule of thumb, never throw to a double team.
So the ball being worked, Simons and Brodie Roberts eventually on the bounce to Jackson, and patience prevails there for the VICs.
Yeah, this is danger time, I reckon, right now. The WA side's got to step up, or this game's going to slip away right here.
So turnover required from the West. That won't help the contact out of play. Purser offloads to Robertson. Simons, good take. And that's just a little bit too easy for Victoria. So my expert commentator Dave Mills has called the moment. What will the West do here?
They're starting to get a little bit panicky on their feeds, pushing it right to the sideline.
Trying to re-centre. Not many options
Don't think
at the
Brodie liked
moment.
that call. He thought he got that clean.
Well, McPherson draws the contact. His work rate is right up. And again, Dent out the front, trying to set up the play. Can Jerome finish? He offloads. Well, he offloads back. Gillard eventually ends up with the ball.
Double play.
Yeah, the old double play with a finish. So back to within 2. And the space just opening up. Wow, what a great feed off the first second.
Yeah, that's what Robertson brings to the team. He's a very unassuming player, but he fits in with this side just as well as all the others.
James Robertson in the centre for Victoria. Getting the nod over Guy Keane. Guy Keane on the bench today. Doesn't even look like he's dressed to go. So
no, it looks like he might be sitting this one out, but that'll change if Coach Christina Popolo believes that they need to have a crack.
Oh, great rejection. Yeah, absolutely.
Way up.
Melmo.
He's an incredible athlete, Melmo.
Yeah, you mentioned yesterday, 68 centimetre VJ, vertical jump. Impressive stuff, and he uses every centimetre of it.
Absolutely.
So the transition smooth down court for Victoria, and all of a sudden in a blink, the scoreline out to 4, and the centre pass with the Blues. You know what? Simons has been the difference for me in this second quarter. I thought he was a little bit stagnant in the first, didn't find good space.
Yeah, very experienced player, so probably, just took a little bit of time to get going, and now he knows to put the foot down here. They'll put him away this quarter, and then he can sort of coast in the second half.
Yeah, and we spoke about Mitch Purser, the wing defence for WA, just there on screen.
Yep.
And, he had a terrific first quarter.
Exactly.
We haven't mentioned him so far in this second. So.
Exactly, and he's given Simons too much space. He's just hitting the circle at will.
So Gillard on the front cut drive. Steadies, lines up. He's never going to miss. They just need to get the ball to this bloke.
It's a rarity that he does miss, so, yeah. That's why I'm not sure why they'd be doing that fancy play to him. They don't need to do that, just work it around, take the extra 2 passes, and, he'll get you the biscuits.
Well, there you go again, the man of the moment in Andrew Simons. Roberts on the front drive. Well, that's
a bit wayward.
Yeah, a little bit to the right. So a chance now for WA just to punish the VICs. They are under pressure here. Good defensive structure and setup.
This is exactly what we saw last night. Their zone was a bit weak in the first quarter, and then the second quarter they just switched it on and broke Queensland's parts, basically.
And, yeah, just trying to be too fancy. Simon Bailey on that occasion. You'd be a frustrated teammate seeing that happen. It's completely unnecessary.
Nice boards.
Yeah, well, that goal hurts.
Yeah.
So you've called the moment, and I'm going to call this moment. This WA really needs to score off this centre pass, or things could get quite drastic. Cliff to McPherson.
He's there. Went the fancier option.
Yeah, so I say that flair is one thing, but it should only ever come off the back of good skills and basic skills.
Exactly. There's nothing flash about the Victorians at all. They're just working the ball around, getting a good space. If anything, occasionally you see sleight of hand from Brodie Roberts, but that's about the extent of it.
Well, I think space is the word. They're using terrific space and opening up their shooters.
Yep.
And that's bringing Corey Jackson right in under the post, and he's now found the middle.
Exactly. He was looking a bit rusty in the first quarter, and now he's looking like $1 million shooter.
Yeah, absolutely. So 5 goals now, the difference halfway through the second term, and it was WA leading by 1. Great hands in from Dent. Well, you can see they've worked together obviously well before. Just, as we said earlier, just frustrating to see some of that throwaway ball unnecessary. WA were leading by a goal. And
just caution there, yeah.
So caution going to Mitch Purser, the wing defence for WA. What was it for holding?
For persistent, continuing contact and holding. So I'm sure it was just a caution. I didn't hear the word warning.
Okay, caution.
There's 4 levels, isn't there, Sue? With caution, then the warning, then 2 minutes, and then off, yeah?
I don't know, too many. Too many to remember. I just think if you're abusing the rules and you're not happy, umpire, get them off and move on.
There you go. That would simplify things.
Well, yeah, good vision, good feed into space, and
nice boards.
good rebound, right over the top. Timed that perfectly, Jerome Gillard.
Did you notice the elevation on punch on then? He just gets up so easily.
Well, he just needs to get his timing right, and that would have been a terrific rebound.
Exactly.
So here you go, another little chance for WA. They just need to make that count.
Oh, got a bit of luck there.
Yeah, absolutely luck the way of WA. Every time we talk about it, though, the moment is off the hands of the goal attack from Western Australia and Stuart Dent.
Yep.
That's the man there. He does some great stuff. And then, well, Ash Cliff, that was the most intriguing look away I've seen. Look to his left arm.
Will he do it again here?
Oh, I hope not. I don't need to commentate that again.
Yeah, that's true. So,
Well, there you go, WA chipping
fighting
away
back.
at this. That's right.
yeah.
There was a moment there, both you and I thought the Vics might have put their foot down. And full credit to the boys from the West.
I still think the Vics are playing within themselves. You know, I mean, I think I hate to use these words, but I think they're just going through the motions at the moment. And at any time, I think they can just turn it on like a light switch.
Yeah, well, alternatively to that, their opponents could actually seize that moment. So that's one of the great beauties of sport.
Yeah, that is true. It's a two-horse race.
Melmo, again, the quick hands through the mid-court for Victoria and a beautiful drive and give and go from Roberts. Well, that's a good finish and lovely personal play coming from Brodie Roberts from Victoria.
All class, Brodie Roberts.
Purser. Well, there was no one there, so Gillard was forced to come up the middle. McPherson, yeah, well, what a battle he's having with both the mid-quarters from Victoria. Oh, and just too much on it. Yep. Ash Clift unable to hold on to that one. So the pressure on from the get-go. WA defensively is trying to delay this ball as much as possible. Find a moment. Well, there's one of the moments. Personally had that.
Yeah, it's just a fraction late there. Would have been classic.
Well,
what happened there? Like,
yeah.
you took the fast. I thought the rule changed that you could take the fast.
Yeah, and the player wasn't on court either.
Yeah, so something should have been called
I felt that should have gone the way of
way,
WA
yeah.
yep, in that moment. He chose to play on. The player wasn't on court. All players must be on court. Well, look at that. The couple of options opened up. Chose the front one, probably smart. I had my eyes on Jackson at the back.
Yeah. It's an unlucky call there. I thought that was clean.
Yeah, Corey Jackson
There you go,
rolls around and out.
Roberts bounces the ball away in frustration.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Playing a high zone here.
yeah, you see the four players just pushing the pressure here. WA, what will they do this time? Purser looks at now. That's Bailey who threw the ball away last time and nearly did again. Ash Cliff under all sorts of pressure to take that. McPherson backwards to go forwards.
Oh,
and great read from Melmo.
Yeah. That's that athleticism we're talking about.
And that's one of the great pleasures. Oh, great take from Roberts. You know, the success of the Victorian zone there, it started up very high, but the outcome was right down the very back. They persisted.
Exactly. They didn't, at any stage, they didn't break it up, you know, so no one got selfish. They stayed in their unit, and, yeah, they got the result in the end.
Some good discipline shown from Victoria. They swing top, pocket, top. Oh, and WA come away with it. Well, McPherson's absolutely flying down court here. They really want to make this hurt at the goalpost. They're treading around that 4-goal margin deficit. And
Nice
Stewie Dent,
pass.
well, I'm not sure what the statisticians will call that. For his sake, it'll be a nice high lob pass off two hands.
Yeah, they're still hanging in there. I seriously thought this would be blown away by half-time.
Well, 3 goals, the difference, and just starting to get a little bit physical out on court, Stewie Dent.
He's losing a bit of control, isn't he?
Yeah.
So both in his delivery and his body control.
Yeah, Tori Allen, receiving the physicality on that occasion, the wing defence for Victoria. So front position, Jackson. He likes that baseline position for his shot. That's where he's most accurate.
So tonight, Sue, we're going to have Joel Owen, the umpire on the far side, who's actually going to be doing a commentary game with us on the other court. So it'll be interesting to get a different perspective.
Is he commentating the umpires or the actual game,
I'm not
mate?
sure. I'd imagine I'm not doing it with him, thank God.
Oh, gee, put me on it. I can't wait to hear it.
So it'll be a different perspective. We wanted to do a few different things in this commentary, so we've grabbed an umpire.
Oh, fantastic.
Just walk
really
in different shoes.
Yeah, really good. As we said, the umpire's doing a terrific job here at this tournament.
Yeah, we've got
up their time.
Lisa Harm on this side and Joel Owen on the other side.
So just over the minute left in the second quarter. Open men's Vic taking on WA, the AMNA National Championships on the Gold Coast. 26-22. WA leading by a goal after the first quarter. Vic fighting back in this second term. They had a good second quarter yesterday, Victoria.
That's excellent work. Oh.
Distance.
Yeah, but late call, very late call.
Very late call.
I hope she didn't react to the player on court's reaction, but I thought that was good distance.
WA will come away with it. Jerome Gillard again continuing to score on the board for the West Australians. Clift wants to get on with it here.
Just need a bit of composure.
Yeah, 30 seconds remain on the clock. So if they can pop this ball in and delay Vic on the shot, that's 2 goals the difference.
Yeah. So fought back well because it was a real danger time for them there.
Correct. So Stewie Dent to deliver
huge.
for the West. Gillard with the rebound. He's almost out of court. No, he is out of court. No, he's not. Play on.
Play on.
The call. So 6 seconds on the clock. This will be the final shot of this second term. Stuart Dent, high and straight through the middle.
Just in the nick of time.
Absolutely, and the siren goes. And Victoria, after trailing by 1, have fought back to lead by 2.
Yeah, great turnaround in that quarter there, 26-24. They worked really hard on their zone defence. They got a few turnovers there, aided by a little bit of turnover ball from WA. I still think the Vics are just going through the motions. I think the second half, Coach Christina might make a couple of changes there and get the team just fired to where they need to be for tonight's game. In fact, we're getting the stats sheets now.
All right, so it looks like the changes are being handed our way. We'll take a break and then we'll bring you back to all the action and update you with the changes at the AMNA Championships on the Gold Coast. Victoria leading by 2 over WA. Well, welcome back to our game clothing coverage of the AMNA 2017 National Championships happening here on the Gold Coast. Sue Gordian in commentary alongside me, former Sonics Australian men's coach Dave Millsy Mills. It's the Open men's game. If you're just joining us on the live streaming, Victoria taking on Western Australia. Of course, Victoria needing to win this game in order to cement an equal top position with Queensland.
With one game to play tonight against New South Wales.
Right,
yes,
which
that's
could
correct.
move them clean into top position. Of course, WA fighting to secure a semi-finals place.
Exactly.
And
WA win this, they're guaranteed the fourth spot.
If not, they'll come up against South Australia this evening.
In a do-or-die battle.
Do or die,
Yeah, the winner of that'll be probably going forward. The loser, that'll be going home.
Plenty at stake, and of course, at half-time, the score is 26-24. And Victoria lead by 2. Some changes coming your way. Let me go through them. Tim Walker comes on at goal shooter for Victoria. Daniel Cook to goal attack. And Guy Keane moves into wing attack for the VICs. And straight away, he's into the action. For Western Australia, Ash Clift moves from wing attack to goal attack. Stewie Dent goes to the bench. Boyd Berryman comes on at wing attack. Dale Mathers on at goal defence. And Guy Ramsey into goalkeeper. So wholesale changes for both sides.
Yeah, the WA coach probably had to make some changes there, particularly in the offensive end. And Stewie Dent, unfortunately, his turnover rate was just too high. So she's obviously trying to tidy that front end up, get a bit more stability in there, make this a bit of a shootout and try and hang in there.
So Guy Keane, terrific game, MVP for him yesterday against Queensland.
He played brilliantly.
Yeah, he did.
One of the better games I've seen him play, actually, and I've seen a lot of them. So.
He was terrific. He sits himself in wing attack today. Straight away, just making his way to the circle edge. His connection with Tim Walker, the goal shooter there on screen, nothing but superb.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, Christina Papalupo, she wants to get this going here. So, she's brought on her big guns. This is her big front end, and you'll see what happens.
Well, Ash Clift wanted to get on with it there and probably got quickly reminded in his head that the reason Stuart Dent went to the bench was because he threw away too much. So he's held on to that one.
Yes.
Well done, Ash Clift.
They look a little bit more composed, don't they, since the break? And that's a massive
wow.
shot.
Gee,
Boom.
I tell you what, that was business from Ash Clift. Didn't even consider offloading it to the target in Jerome Gillard.
Neither did Guy there.
No.
So.
And there you go. That's the connection we were talking about between Keane and Walker. Not to be. And Clift comes up with the ball again, but sloppy hands.
Berryman there, just dropped that.
Yeah, Boyd Berryman just coming on at wing attack. Dale Mather on. I believe he had some ankle injury concern yesterday for Western Australia. So
moving quite well today.
Purser.
The effort there from Guy Keane. He sprinted down, straight off the centre pass, gets himself in the wall, so he's part of the zone right from the get-go.
Well, Cliff taking a terrific ball there under pressure. Great offload to Gillard. Quick hands. Gillard needs to finish for WA. He does.
Oh, and he put the high five out there. No love.
No love.
No love on the high five.
Yeah.
Does it himself.
It's all right. He looked over to the Victoria bench and they were having a good laugh. So, yeah, don't leave me hanging. Tori Allen at wing defence. Gets things. There's Melmo. Keane on the drive. Plenty of space. Look how that. Too easy. Well, good hand in there from Mitch Purser. Had a great first quarter, a bit quiet in the second. Wing defence for WA. Gee, isn't that the first lesson? Never look down at your feet to see if you're out of court.
Yeah.
That just eludes the umpire. You're possibly there.
Yeah. How good is this battle between Jerome Gilbert and Punchon? Like, they're teammates in the 23s Australian side last year that went to New Zealand, and they're going hard at it here today.
Tori Allen gets the ball in play. James Robertson nowhere to go, and it's a held ball, so good defensive pressure from the West.
They've certainly come out strong in the second half, haven't they? They've like different renewed vigour, and they really want this game.
Yeah, and Berryman so far, he's been amongst the issues, I guess, for WA since they've come on. What a contest up in the air.
That's a great save. Going a little bit side to side at the moment. They need to just look for the straight lead.
Well, Berryman in wing attack is standing at the side calling for the ball. As a wing attack, that's the last place you want to be.
And he's way too high.
So they've lost a lot of drive, I think. But they needed to obviously move Clift in. That's a good feed, just as we bag Berryman. He bags us back. Why not?
Cop that, commentator.
All credit to Boyd Berryman, working his way onto the court here at halftime for the West.
Indeed, most definitely. Boyd Berryman is playing quite well now. Yep, we can. Excellent.
Ashcliffe. He'll be in there to try and draw the defence off Gillard wherever possible. He certainly proved he can shoot the long bomb. His first shot was from right out on the circle edge, just inside. So WA coming out the better of this third term. They've levelled the score. They were 2 down. They led by 1 at the first break. Vic fighting back in that second quarter.
Oh, that's a bad throw-in, wasn't it?
Yeah, interesting one. And that's...
Tori Allen gets it back, though.
Well, I tell you what, the book of flair must have been given to the West Australians, because that's all they seem to want to do, as opposed to the executed easy stuff, get the basic skills right.
Even their intercepts are flary, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I reckon that's the difference between these two sides at the moment, is just doing the simple stuff well, Victoria.
Yeah.
Gillard, so from mid-range.
That's huge. And that gives them the lead, 30-29. So, you know, Jerome, if they can just get him some clean ball, he'll keep him in the match. So, and there we go, throw it away on cue.
So Vic now with the throw in. Melmo under pressure from Gillard. He'll be asked to stand out of play. The pressure off now. Robertson out alone. McPherson letting him run free at the moment. Melmo and Keane combined, just looking to set up Walker. Oh, terrific screen and open. Guy Keane just patient on the feed.
And Walker with a shot to finish. Ties it all up at 30-all. See again, WA, their own centre pass. They did the great turnover. The next centre, they threw it away on the second pass.
So the momentum continues to swing. The AMNA Championships here in the Gold Coast. Victoria going about their business. Another game again tonight.
Absolutely, that will be unbelievable, New South Wales and Victoria. And for the viewers at home, Sue, we've actually made a couple of schedule changes to our coverage, so get on board with it. Tonight at 8 p.m, Court 1, Show Court 1, the one we're on right now, will be New South Wales versus Victoria. Yourself commentating, Junior Levy, Australian captain, Queensland captain, will be in deck with you, so that should be excellent. On the other court, Show Court 3, we've got the South Australia battle for the 4th place final spot, South Australia versus WA.
Yeah, 2 big games at 8 p.m. this evening. Looking
in
forward to those.
Time.
Yeah, and certainly the outcome of this game could place some bearing on those games as well.
I believe we're up against the NRL, Thursday night footy.
Oh, that's no issue.
I reckon this will win,
yeah,
hands
absolutely.
down.
No dramas. Some of my comedy humour will be at its best at 8 p.m.
Gets better as the night goes on.
Oh, it does after a beer. Anyhow.
Lord, you're a six-pack right now.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it's a big week in netball, so, and a big week here on the Gold Coast. So
Big
the scores,
for you.
yeah, big week for me. The scores, Victoria out by 1, so they've fought their way back here. McPherson finding Gillard on the drive. Again, I'd still love to see a dominant shooter just turn, sight the post and do the job.
And
it just puts fear into his opponents.
Exactly, and he normally does do that. He's just been a little bit hesitant today, maybe because of the pressure that Punchin's putting on him. So.
Well, there he is, the man of the moment, Jerome Gillard.
It's the most mid-range shots I've seen him take in many of the games that I've watched him play.
Right.
He's normally, to the post.
Well, good vision from Guy Keane. He opens up Cook. There he is again doing more. Well, one of the longest bounce passes I've seen in a game of netball nearly pays off. Cook taking front position. Eventually they go high and into the space. And Timmy Walker, nowhere near as dominant as he was last night. The rhythm not yet found, I don't think. But, if WA give the Vics any chance here, they could really kick in. And that's just how easy they can score there. 3 passes and straight in.
Exactly, and it's out to 3 just like that. But to me, I think the Vics, that game probably took a bit out of them last night. Like, they really put the foot down from pretty much halfway through the second quarter right to the end. They really wanted that win, and they're probably feeling a little bit today. It's only it's a quick turnaround. And they're doing just enough. You know, they're hanging in there, and at some stage they'll just pull away here, I feel.
So Ash Cliff to take the shot, steadies, and a beautiful execution and return at the post.
Nice high arc. He's a bit vertically challenged, Clift, and, you know, he's playing well above his height.
Yeah, absolutely. He certainly makes up for it, his confidence on quarter. As best I understand, he's an absolute netball perfectionist, knows the game inside out.
Bit of a tragic, you think?
Yeah, I know. Well, a tragic, we're all bloody tragic, excuse my expression.
That is so true, isn't it? So
just over 5 minutes left on the clock. It is the third quarter. Victoria taking on Western Australia, day 5 action of the Australian Mixed Men's National Championships. Gillard on the drive, all the way backwards. And they eventually find Dale Mather. He's done a bit of work since he's come on, but probably need a bit more from both defenders.
Exactly.
In him and Ramsey to turn some ball over for the West.
Yeah, got a hell ball there. That was Jerome had a couple of balks there, and referee thought he was a bit quick.
Well, gee, I tell you what, if there was ever a chance to take an intercept, it was Guy Keane's pass there, right, swinging across 3 corridors.
It seemed to take forever to get there, so yeah. But the WO guys just weren't switched onto it.
So there's a real structured play here. That was an absolute set play, Daniel Cook. And that's what's hurting the West Australians at the moment. Just great structure, great space, and great finishes.
Yeah. It's just, this is one of those big moments again. It's out to 5, 37-32 with 4 to go. It's another one of those moments we talked about in the second quarter, and this is another one right here.
Well, they proved us wrong in that second quarter, Millsy, that they were capable of fighting back Western Australia. Ash Clift can get them moving. Gillard, strong rebound. Goes
nice.
Over the top of Punchin, which isn't an easy job.
Oh, absolutely not. With the elevation on him, it's to get that board was just perfect timing, great extension on the arms.
Over the top to Walker from Keane. And just seem to have no answers at the moment defensively to stop this combination. And
it's a surprise missed shot there by Cook. He sees the humour in it. Not sure his coach will.
So I think McPherson's quietened down in Dylan McPherson, the centre for Western Australia, has been a little bit more quiet. He was terrific in that first half everywhere.
Exactly. I think it's taken a bit out of him because he was keeping the side together a bit while Denny was throwing the ball away a little bit. He was actually the one that was getting the turnovers and trying to keep him in it. Yeah,
and I don't think Boyd Berryman's come on and had the presence that Ash Clift had at wing attack.
That's exactly right, but obviously they had to move Clift into GA because of the error count to Dent.
The woes of the coach. So 39-33.
Could be a coach, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. The VICs here now starting to assert their dominance on the game.
Yeah, it's a big few minutes.
And just goes to show you how quickly you can score in this game of netball. And Walker seems to be doing most of that. Well, not on that occasion. So it's moments like these that the Wests have to actually make it count on the board.
They've got to score here, and then it's their centre next, cut the margin by 2. So, but they're being patient this time. They're not just pegging it in, except for that, and they found him right under the ring, so good option.
Well, and a missed shot. Yeah, so he rushed the shot, Clift.
That's a shame.
Well, I wonder whether we'll call that the moment of the game where things, at the moment's been missed, a chance. I need to turn this over again and assert some...
That must have been about 2.9 seconds there.
Yeah, very close. Keane on the run. Can Walker keep it in? So no, McPherson front position. So an opportunity again. And Mitch Purser driving through court.
That's the guy they got to get it to. There he is.
Well, good vision from Berryman. He was off the circle. He had the confidence to offload to Gillard. And that's probably a bit of a get-out-of-jail card for the West Australians.
Most definitely. If they score here, back to 4.
Oh, gee, commentator's curse from you, my friend.
Yeah, I better shut up. A few people saying that actually on the Twitter. So.
All family, I'm sure.
Ah, yeah, it's all good.
Guy Keane, steady, poised, delivers. If you ever want to see a men's netballer that can execute skills to perfection, have a look at the wing attack for Victoria. There he is, ball in hand. Don't throw it away. Off the right, good contest coming from Dale Mather.
The pass was good.
And Daniel Cook offloads to Keane. He's going to set the play up here. Not to be.
Offensive call on Robertson.
So 6 goals in it, just a minute left to play in this third quarter. And it's WA into attack Ash Clift, can he deliver from mid-range? We know he can from long.
Certainly
beautiful
can.
shot. The only one he's missed is the one directly under the
ring.
post, under no pressure.
Yeah, exactly. He was all by himself. Felt a bit lonely, missed a shot.
The mind of a goal shooter.
It's complex.
Apparently. Clift, McPherson. McPherson again wanting to get the ball moving. Bounces and beautiful return. So all of a sudden...
They fought back well here.
They have.
It's back to 4.
A turnover or a delay here, and the West can probably go to the bench with a small bit of confidence. Victoria, on the other hand, they will want to punish at the post. 20 seconds. Well, there you go. So out of court and a dying chance here. It'll be 8 seconds to get this ball down court. They'll need to go long.
They do like a long pass, so...
That's right, Purser, straight over to Berryman. He's going to have to go and find Gillard immediately.
Go in.
Tries off that could have been the shot of the tournament, but it's not to be. So the Victorians, they've fought, they've held on through the third quarter, and they lead by 4 as we go into the final break of the Vic Open game here on the Gold Coast. Quickly from you, Dave Mills.
Yeah, a solid quarter. I seriously thought the Vics were going to run away with it. They did just enough to increase the lead by another 2. 4-point lead at three-quarter time. They're pretty happy with that, and they seem like they're in control.
Yeah, so we're all set up for a final term, probably exceeding expectation of this game. So we're in good place. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.
Make them dance just like you, 'cause you make me move. Yeah, you always make me go. Run away with your footsteps. I'll build a city that dreams for two. And if you lose yourself, I will find you.
So the game clothing coverage of this Open men's game on the Gold Coast, the AMNA Championships 2017, and Victoria and WA going head-to-head, of course, final quarter to be played, and they are fighting hard, the West Australians, to stay in touch, but it's the Vics leading currently 40-36. Millsy, big quarter.
Exactly. It's all on the line for the WA side here. If they could get the result here, they secure the semi-final spot. So that's what they've got to keep the focus on. Just get a bit more control around that front end. Get it to Gilbert. If they get it to Gilbert, they're going to get the result thereafter.
So tell me, are you a Twitter man?
I don't mind a good tweetering. I do it for some of the associations I'm involved with. But, yeah, for us, it's AMNA men's mixed. Drop us a line, as Colin Gordon has. He's currently, he does a bit of commentary work on Sky TV in England. He's currently coaching in the upper parts of Canada, doing a great job over there. And he's a big fan of ours, and he's listening to us. And he says we're going all right.
Oh, it's nice to be critiqued from afar.
Well, he's got a bit of experience at least, Colin, for this sort of work. So, most people that critique us have never been behind a camera.
So the action underway, and the West Australians trailing by 4. And beautiful take by Purser. Well, he read that. He timed that perfectly. I think he's been one of the best for the West Australians. He had a bit of a quiet second, but he's certainly making it worthwhile on wing defence. One of the toughest positions to play in this game. It's thankless.
Oh, crashed in the middle to go.
Tori Allen hitting the deck over there. And I did say deck. So Clift. You are allowed to laugh on camera.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
okay to acknowledge my humour.
Well, that was quite good, actually.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Cheers. So Ash Clift not able to pull that one in, and it's
exactly true what you say. He gets the long bombs, can't hit the short ones.
yeah, absolutely. We should note no changes for the West Australians and just a positional change in Malmo and Punchin for the Victorians defensively. Walker, well, that was a bit too much on that one. Put him under a lot of pressure, couldn't hold it in.
I noticed they've moved Guy Keane to centre as well. So they've gone to the way they finished last night. This is against Queensland. This is exactly the same four that they had in the front end. So
Apologies, I have had the note put in front of me. Yeah, so Andrew Simon's back on at wing attack.
exactly, and Guy Keane's moved to centre for James Robinson.
Yep. So McPherson and Clift working. And eventually Clift, well, he's been good from that position there. Will he take the shot? Absolutely.
Well,
He'll need
shouldn't. He should pass it off to Gilbert.
Well, you would think that.
Now he'd be right. He's been advanced in.
Well, he missed this one earlier on. So not only did he miss it, from that range, if you're going to take the penalty shot, you take the shot. You simply don't offload.
Exactly. And he got there eventually.
Yes.
Bit of luck there, I feel.
I think that's a huge amount of luck. So Purser on the drive. Quick hands, McPherson, Gilbert. Gilbert swings, Berryman. So Clift, he's going to do the job. He does his best shooting off the first second. If he thinks about it, it doesn't happen.
That's exactly right. So maybe that's what he should do, just release the ball as soon as he gets it.
Jamison. There's Simon's great vision, good execution. And Cook to Walker.
It's a beautiful combination, that. What do you think works better? Cook, Walker, Brodie Roberts, Walker? You've had a look at them. It's hard to say, isn't it? Different styles.
To be honest with you, I think they're in a win-win situation either way.
Exactly.
And if they get into trouble at all, you could take Walker off and have a moving circle. So
Exactly.
the Vics, certainly have great depth, I think, in their playing roster.
And Corey Jackson did nothing wrong when he was on for the first
not.
part. You know,
Yeah,
he's
no.
a bit. You can tell he's a bit nervous at the start. Missed a few that he shouldn't have.
But
Once he got his groove, it was
I
great.
thought he used really good space. He
Exactly.
presented really well the
Yeah.
way they moved the ball around. So there's some good stuff for the Vic men. 4 goals the difference, 10 minutes of play. Walker, he just holds beautiful backspace. He positions high in the circle.
That's the aspect of your game that has really improved over the years, is that just cutting, like holding to an angle and just make it so easy for the feed, and it just takes one step and he's got the ball.
So Keane on the drive now in the middle. That'll be a great battle with him and Dylan McPherson. Cook into the pocket. Simons 2-on-1 on Walker.
It's at that dangerous margin again, out to 5, only 10 to go.
Well, not to be a good rebound under pressure. And Vic Men's here, just controlling the opening play here in this final quarter. Gilbert really being forced out. He hasn't had the great pleasure like, say, Walker has to be getting a lot of ball under the post. I think that's been one of the great differences at each end of the court.
That's exactly right. And he's actually come out looking for the ball a little bit, so that means he's thinking in his own mind his team's in a bit of trouble coming through the midcourt, and he's the easy outlet. But then they have to work so hard to get it back into him, you know, when he can get himself back under the post. I prefer him to sort of do the work in the circle itself and be a real target for him, because I think they've underutilised him this game. You know what I mean? So that's my opinion.
Well, Guy Ramsey really forcing himself to get front position. He got a tip to that last ball. They come up with it again. And the man of the moment, as he was last night, Mr. Walker. I wonder if he's related to Johnny.
Maybe Max. But he's doing well. He's been, for me, he's been one of the, look at that. See, he would never have done it a couple of years ago. And that's his foot speed, created the space. Too easy for the Victorians. And the margin's out to 8.
Oh, they've been good for 3 quarters, Western Australia. Still probably too many errors for the liking of their coach, Lorraine Ward.
Yeah, so it looks like it's probably going to come down to a do-or-die battle for them tonight.
I'll just remind those streaming and listening in that they did meet previously, Victoria 73 to WA 39. So I guess if they can finish this game strongly, WA, and as you said, minimise the margin, which becomes critical in terms of the context of the ladder.
Yep.
But it's also, you know, a positive for them that they've been able to bridge that gap from Victoria in the opening couple of days.
Absolutely, and that's a massive positive. Like that, you know, we're looking at a 30-goal swing. You know what I mean? So yes, maybe Victoria haven't gone with their strongest side straight up, but the, you know, they've still managed to take 30 goals out of a big game in the first one.
So Simons and Keane, they literally look for each other to work the ball to the circle edge. And then that man just presents terrifically in front space and can manoeuvre his body no matter where that ball goes. So it's now out to double digits, the lead, 10 goals the way of Victoria. Gilbert again forced to come up through the middle. Ashcliffe, I think McPherson's fired up a little bit more in this final quarter. I thought he was quiet in the third.
Yeah, I think he was blowing a bit hard in the third, and you know, he's got his 54th wind, and he's right to go now.
Yeah, well, when the scoreline goes like this, that's when you really start to feel it as a mid-quarter, when you're on the back end.
Yeah, and he'd be torn. Like it's nearly there to still have a crack to win this game, but he's probably trying to save himself because he's probably going to play big minutes tonight against South Australia. So he's between a rock and a hard place.
So we should have mentioned again tonight, 8 p.m. If you're watching this, it only gets better as we continue to cover all the games live. A bit of a change in the scheduling tonight on Court 1. It'll be New South Wales taking on Victoria, and myself and Junior Levy, the Australian Sonics captain, commentating that one. And of course on Court 3, South Australia taking on Western Australia, playing off for finals positions. And Dave Mills, yourself, man, will be calling that one with Lachlan Rogers, a former Aussie player, goalkeeper extraordinaire.
It was the first to bring in the real tipping that's been banned, unfortunately. But yeah, Lockie was brilliant at it back in the day, and we might bring back some stories from the old days.
Yeah.
So do you want me to get a box for you tonight? Because I had to stand on the box when I was with Clemetia. So you and Junior,
no.
there's only about 2 feet difference.
If I said Junior could get on his knees, I'm not sure that that'd go down too well, but we'll see how he goes.
Never know. It's a mixed environment here. So
well, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, he's 219 centimetres, which you'll see tonight when you tune in at 8 o'clock. But let's get back to the action here. Still 6 minutes to play. 10 goals. McPherson still trying to get things moving. Berryman, there he is, driving out again of the circle. Gilbert.
It's a bit erratic in there, you know. You go up this end, it's controlled. The Vics just set themselves. They hit the circle. They know exactly where everyone's going. There's a little bit of good luck more than management going on in the WA end.
Oh, I think that's, for me so far in my experience of the men's nationals, that's where Victoria look to stand out, is just the classy skills. They
Exactly.
seem to have just, like across the board, probably better skills at the moment, more poised under pressure,
Exactly.
able to execute.
They're playing like a team that's won the championship last year, you know, and they're taking that confidence into every game they're playing, and you know, it wouldn't surprise anyone to see them grab the title on Saturday.
So WA now bringing the scoreline back to 9. Ball in hand. Purser, good vision over the top of the mess. Berryman, quick hands. Well, that's a good passage. Needs to be finished at the post.
That's his chosen distance.
Yeah, rolls in and out. Oh, great intercept off the throat.
Jerome.
Well, that is quite difficult to do. Gilbert comes up, Jerome Gilbert. So that's...
Back to 8.
Yeah, back
Is it
to 8
doable?
and their centre pass. Well, plenty. Well, gee, I've seen many a game. I've called many a game
There you go.
where this has come back. Just as I say that, look at that.
Will Jamison just plucked that out of the air and straight into the shooter.
Yeah, good stuff, Jamison. Well, that could have been the moment. The West Australians, it's gone astray. The Vics out of jail on a possible comeback.
Yeah, I think it'll be out to 10 shortly. The WAC has not given up at any stage. They've just kept digging and digging and digging. It's just their execution's letting down a little bit.
Well, great vision from Guy Keane in the pocket there just to see the space open up for Walker. It'll be Cook to take. No, he'll offload. Why wouldn't you when the man's standing under the post undefended?
He ends up shooting only from about a foot by the time he gets his arms up. So
Berryman and Gilbert. Just the pace coming out of it for Western Australia. They've just struggled to find that consistency at goal attack. I don't reckon Gilbart's been as well supported as what we see up this end.
absolutely, and that's the point I was trying to make before, is that they've underutilised him and he's coming out too much and he feels like he needs to get more involved because he's not getting the quality ball that's happening up at the other end.
So you can just see, just at the bottom of your screen then, the clapping hands of the West Australian coach, Lorraine Ward, just urging her players to finish strong. The scoreline really important to them if they were to go down tonight against South Australia. It could be dire straits for them. So
it's a percentage battle, and you never want to be in that because you lose control of your destiny, so to speak. So I think they've tried very hard today, and they gave it a real shake at three-quarter time. But the game was in the balance. Just the class of Victoria, the defending champions, has just sort of kicked in this last quarter.
So they've pushed it out to 13 now, the Blues. WA is still surging forward. Berryman on the circle edge. Swings to McPherson. Gilbert, he's just been forced high. Credit to the defence of Victoria. They really haven't allowed him to...
Yeah. It's an all-Australian defensive end right now. You've got, Malmo at keeper, pushing hard. Then you got Will Jamison in the front, cleaning up any of the slops.
Well, under pressure on that occasion, Walker, but Cook finds the crumbs. And he lines up for one of his very few shots of the game. It doesn't seem to matter because Walker can not only shoot, but he can rebound as well. So the Vics will walk away with this win.
Yeah, they'll go into the next match against New South Wales with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
They'll be on top of the table. A win in that match secures them first place. 2 bites of the cherry on Friday for the for the grand final on Saturday.
Well, they've been pushed, so they've exerted a bit more energy probably than they would have hoped to in this game. Credit going to the West Australians. Just haven't been able to finish this last quarter off at all.
Yeah, that's what they've lacked. That last passage of play there where they got it to Jerome, he did the refeed, got a nice easy shot. That's what they've lacked through this match.
So the slickness of the front end here for Victoria really coming to light in this second half. And as you said, this lineup, the same lineup that brought them through last night against against Queensland. They were terrific after being down 7 goals at quarter time.
Yeah, they absolutely iced that game last night. When Cookie came on, you just knew it was done. You know what I mean? He just came on, he just settled everything down, took a bit of pressure off the other 2 midders in Guy Keane and Andrew Simons, and yeah, they just got the result. It's the exact same things happened here. They've blown it out in the last quarter with Dan doing what he does. Late over the third call.
So 70 seconds on the clock. And the West boys probably want to try and get a couple of goals on that board and bring it back to the single digit of 9. I'm going to have to work hard at it. McPherson, Gilbert, hardly made any ground. But doesn't matter, he can put that through. So 11 goals the difference. 55 to 44. Yeah, too easy, Walker. He's just been allowed to have front space on too many occasions.
It's a classy performance. They've just done enough. You know what I mean? You said they've exerted a lot of energy, but I don't know. Yeah, they've sort of.
I think they've been challenged. I think they've been challenged probably more than they expected to be.
Exactly. And they haven't. But I think they've just played within themselves for a while, and now they've just shown their class.
So a last run to the post for Victoria, 10 seconds. Purser Probably one of the better players for WA. Keane, and he won't even bother because it's victory the way of Victoria. And 55-44 your final score. 11 goals going to the boys in blue. And as you mentioned, Dave, just going about their business as necessary. Exactly what they wanted was a win. It didn't really matter by how much.
Exactly.
Because it is now all about an 8 p.m. game tonight against New South Wales.
Absolutely, that'll lock in. If they get through that game, locks in first place, and that's where they wanted to be. They get 2 bites of the cherry. It'll be up for grabs who finishes second, whether it be Queensland sitting on 12 points or New South Wales. That'll come down to a percentage battle. So, and that's going to be exciting times.
Well, the West Australians walk off and probably have their heads hung medium. They did some good stuff out there today, but as their coach, Lorraine Ward, mentioned yesterday, the turnover ball absolutely been their bed bug, and I reckon it was again today.
It was, particularly early on when the Vics were sort of just a little off the pace early on. They threw the ball. They kept them in the game, not through great play by the Vics, but through bad play from WA, and that's why it was tied up at quarter time.
Well, there you have it. So the final result, as we said, an 11-goal victory going the way of Victoria. This is the AMNA Championships coming from the Gold Coast. We're going to have a chat with our player of the match in just a minute. And, of course, as we've mentioned, live streaming of all the games here on the Gold Coast. And we're right through till our 8 p.m. game tonight, which promises to be absolutely huge. So hang in there. We're off to a break, and then we'll chat with our player of the match. So our men's open game just wrapping up here on the Gold Coast. The Victorian Open men's team taking on Western Australia. And it's an 11-goal victory to our Vic men's, and our player of the match joins us, Alistair Punchening, goalkeeper for the Victoria men's. Firstly, Alistair, congratulations on a great game. I hear you've got a 68-centimetre vertical jump. Am I on track?
Roughly that, yeah.
Roughly that. You needed it today. The hectic opponent there in Gilbard. You obviously teammates level, but to talk me through the battle with him today.
The way he holds is just exceptional, and it's really hard to combat. The goaler-to-goaler work that they have through the middle of the circle, it's definitely a challenge. Lucky to win with that kind of stuff going. But yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah, great game. And look, it was a big day yesterday against Queensland. 7 goals down in the first quarter, and you fought back. An important game today to beat the West, but really you're now back up tonight at 8 o'clock and take on New South Wales. What do you do between now and tonight's game?
Definitely quick recovery. There's not a lot of time between the two games today. So maybe hot, cold showers just here, obviously some stretching, maybe a rub down. Yeah, just to get back on court as fit as possible.
And just talk me through the combination with you and Tim Melmo. Pretty good out there today. I mean, I thought when we spoke in commentary, Gilbard was really forced to come out of the circle and take a lot of ball. And in essence, he does his best job under the post. So a good win for you boys in that respect.
Yeah, I guess it's always a win as a defender when you force the shooter to come out. But yeah, they worked it really well in there. We felt a bit flat in the first couple quarters, but it was good to pick up the win. Yeah.
Absolutely. From you, congratulations. I don't want to hold up any more of your time because you go eat and cover and all things that boys do in between netball games. Congratulations. I'm going to get you to step out, and I'm going to bring in the coach of the West Australian men's side in Lorraine Ward, better known as Wardy. Listen, not a bad game, just couldn't finish off that final quarter.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of the boys. I thought it was a really great effort. I think they beat us by 33 last time, so we really, really wanted to put something out there we're proud of. Turnovers were costly, and Vic will hurt you when that happens, but I'm proud of them, really proud of them.
Yeah, I had a brief chat with you yesterday, and you said probably the bed bug for you guys has been that turnover rate, and early in that first half, I think where you had opportunities to maybe really push Vic out the way, it was the turnover ball that cost you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Agree totally. I mean, I'm not sure how we're going to rectify it, but it is hurting us in the tournament. But still, we've progressed from last year. We didn't win a game, and I couldn't ask any more of them. They're really working hard.
Yeah. Listen, I want to talk about terrific today. First, was a little bit quiet through the third quarter, but his first and second quarter, I mean, he gave you 3 or 4 great opportunities to get in the game. It's a selfless position wing defence. He sort of made it his own today.
Oh, yeah, and he's been doing that for the tournament, and he's really growing into it. But he does tend to have a bit of a quiet start and build his way into it. But he's really valuable to us, and he just works hard. Repeated efforts. It's what you want.
You love coaching the boys?
I love it.
Why?
It's fun. You taught me that as my mentor, Sue.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, one of the great characters of the sport, and really good to see you boys out there performing today. Thanks so much for your time. All the very best against South Australia. We'll let you go. No worries. And let everyone know that wraps up our game here on Court 1 for the Men's Open. Don't go anywhere, though, because we've got another big game coming up, and it'll be our mixed Open now with Victoria taking on WA as well. I'll be back in commentary, and I'm sure we're going to be in for another terrific game here at the 2017 AMNA Championships.